Today I'm making a hammer entirely from IKEA's products. To make the hammerhead, I'll be melting stainless steel cutlery. And even the handle is made from IKEA's products. I started by printing the hammerhead and the sprue separately using translucent PLA filament. Now this is a proper hammer, not your tiny toy hammer that I made in the past, but still, I like it. I hope I can melt this much stainless steel. There's only one way to find out. Once the mold was hardened, I burned it out in my microwave kiln. Whenever I can, I like to remove most of the plastic instead of burning it, so I end up burning only a small portion of the plastic. In theory, you could even reuse this plastic to make new filament if you have the equipment. Let's see how much it weighs. The tray is around 1 gram, and I reprinted the part and it's 26 grams. Not bad. Some time ago I bought a bag of cutlery from IKEA. It was in a section where they sell display items and second-hand items, and I paid 14 euros for all of this plus lots of spoons that I'm already using. Since I can't make too much noise in here, whenever I have to do it, I go outside. I'm gonna melt 494 grams. But how do you even melt stainless steel? There's a reason why there's not too many videos on YouTube about stainless steel melting, because it requires a very high temperature. I'm not gonna explain how it works in this video, as I have talked about it in my other videos, so information is out there. But let's talk about stainless steel. Yes, I can melt stainless steel using an ordinary household microwave, which is flipped on the side. But melting larger amounts of stainless steel would be pretty much impossible. I can melt some, but for the hammerhead I'll need more. And for that, I have a secret weapon. This is a commercial microwave oven, or a catering microwave. But what does it even mean? What's the difference between this microwave and that household microwave that I have sitting on the table? Well, it's definitely not the size, because this one is actually even smaller than that one. The difference is power. In Europe, for example, most of smaller kitchen microwaves are around 700 watts. That's microwave output power. Bigger ones can go up to 900, sometimes 1000. That one is actually 1100, which is pretty impressive. This one, on the other hand, it has 2 magnetrons, and the output power is 1800 watts, so that's pretty much double of your household microwave. Even though it's super powerful, there is one issue. With all these microwaves getting bounced around, the crucible has a difficulty absorbing them all at the beginning. And that can lead to the microwave overheating pretty quickly. That's why there's this trick that I like to use. Hot crucibles absorb microwaves better. So this is my current process of melting stainless steel using microwaves. I start with this household microwave that is used to preheat the crucible. And then I transfer the crucible to a different chamber and I finish melting using a double magnetron microwave. Molten stainless steel can be as bright as the sun, so I started to wear protective glasses. The mold has been burned out. Let's pour the metal. I'm new to melting stainless steel, at least when it comes to larger amounts. I normally melt cast iron. Stainless steel shrinks way more than cast iron. In fact, the molds that would work with cast iron might not work with stainless steel. And that shrinkage sometimes can lead to holes. Unfortunately, there's a massive hole because of the shrinkage. Not very good, I admit. So I added some extra spruce and I tried again. So I cut off the spruce and this is how it looks. Yeah, it's even worse. There's a massive hole from the shrinkage. I decided to get rid of those side sprues and only use one thick sprue. It also meant I needed to melt even more stainless steel. $687. Looks like this is success. So after sanding and sanding and more sanding, I messed up a big time. At some point during the sanding, I was way too close to the edge and I didn't realize it. So I removed a big chunk of metal. So I changed the hammer a little bit. I thought, why not make it more interesting? I'm gonna add IKEA's logo on the side. I'm a cat in a box. I'm a cat in a box. Anyway, this time I melted even more stainless steel. The reason I was wearing different clothes in different shots while I was sanding is because I had to go home and recharge the battery of the angle grinder. It died, I went home, I recharged it and repeated. My original plan was to sand the hammer to near perfection, but with this heat and the battery dents, I had enough. To make the handle for the hammer, I picked up these legs. You get 4 and it's solid wood apart from this part where the screw goes. I don't know anything about woodworking. I have never made anything out of wood in my entire life. If you don't count some kind of shelves that were screwed together, but that's not exactly woodworking. So I don't feel very comfortable, I must admit. I did get a few tools just here in my local shop. Didn't want to spend too much money on something that I don't know if I'll ever use again. I'm not sure if this cheese grater is the best for the job, but there's only one way to find out. But to make things easier, I thought I might print out this rough shape, and I'm just gonna glue it, and that will give me a better idea. I think it will make the shaping of the handle easier. As this is starting to take a shape, I'm feeling a little bit better, a bit more confident. Look, Mom, I'm a woodworker now. I think I made my wedge a bit too thick, and also it didn't go in straight. Instead of pulling it out and trying again, I added a mini pin. If it fails, it fails. I closed the hole with a 3D printed pin. So apparently there are different kinds of oils we can use to cover the handle with. I just found something on Amazon that looked good in the pictures. It's called pure tung oil or tongue oil. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Tongue? As a tongue? I don't think so. Last time I put some tongue oil onto wood was when I was confessing my sins to the priest as a kid. Okay, let's try it out. Let me drive in this nail. You know what? Let's nail something to this piece of wood. How about this figurine? Okay, the nail. Nail is fine. Nail it! And that's how it's done. The hammer works. It does everything that the hammer is supposed to do, apart from pulling out big nails. I know I made it look like this, but I'm not gonna use it to pull out nails. I tried and it was difficult, and I didn't pull it out because the handle actually did shift a little bit, so I didn't want to push it. It's not perfect, that's for sure, but for my needs, I'm pretty happy. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like. It helps YouTube to show these videos to more people. And if you want to support the channel even further, you can check out my Patreon, as it helps to fund some of these projects. Thanks.